Hello, my lovelies. Welcome back to the Shallon Tourage. Today I want to talk about something that we're all thinking about and that we're probably most of us are doing, which is swiping around dating apps. Now, I feel like there's a billion to choose from at this point. There's even ones about like how to connect with people who hate the same things as you do, which is kind of amazing. But today I want to focus mostly on one because it has a way different sort of like outlook and vibe than the others, which is Bumble. I've actually had really good luck on dating apps. I met two really awesome boyfriends off Tinder, and back in the day, I met a boyfriend that I dated actually for like a year off Match.com. In fact, we vibed so well. But let's talk about, Bumble. Bumble. I'm sorry, my bangs are, okay, look, I'm just gonna put my hair behind my ears. I'm gonna have to look like a big potato head for the rest of the video, and you're all just gonna have to deal with it. Here's why I don't like Bumble, okay? The whole deal with Bumble is that girls say hi first. And Bumble's like, hey, you're empowered. You've got the control. What's the big deal? It's just saying hi. Hear me now. If it's so not a big deal to say hi to someone with your thumbs on an app while you sit on the toilet, why can't guys do it? Here's who's on Bumble. Fuck boys. Sitting there, dicks waiting to be sucked, thinking that girls should be competing for them. That they are the hottest commodity. It's like, what do you got? Oh, that's your opening line? Oh, you went out and said that? Look at the pictures? No. How about you? No. No is right. That's a big no from Shallon. I'm going to play devil's advocate and tell you the other side of the Bumble coin in a minute. But first, I want to bitch about it because I'm not down with this construct. If it's so not a big deal to reach out to someone, why can't guys do that for us? If that is too emotionally risky for them, if that is just like a bridge too far, that's not someone I need to be with. If he can't develop the basic human interaction skills to come to a woman and say, hi, what's your name? I saw your profile. Like, knows your name, but like, this looks cool. Did you travel to Patagonia? Is that your dog? Something. If he can't come up with a hello and a question to a person he knows absolutely nothing about, what do you think that relationship is actually going to be like? Because like I've always said, men are hunters, right? And when you picture a hunter out on the savannah, what happens if he has this idea that the wildebeest should come to him? Probably he's going to starve to death, right? That's not going to go super well for him. I don't see why dating should have to be any different. If he's too weak and too beta to approach a woman on the internet, I'm not saying he has to walk across a crowded cafeteria, like climb a mountain to meet her. Beep, bop, boop, boop, boop. There it is. If he can't do that, why are we, and I've said this before, closing the gap between who he is as a man and who he needs to be? Why? Why is that our job? Because you know what? Guys don't do it for us. Who we are as women rests on our shoulders no matter what. What's a guy gonna do? Is he gonna go on birth control? No. Is he gonna get pregnant and have the babies? No. Is he gonna pick out the hostess gifts for his mom's stupid Christmas party every year? No. That is going to be you, and it will be you, and this is women's work forever. You can talk all you want about gender roles, and I'm a feminist. Girl, if you think doing a man's work is feminism and equality, you have been bamboozled by the patriarchy. That is more oppression. Because for every role of his you take on, no one is taking something from you, right? You still have to do all the girl things. The bras, the hair, the makeup, the making less than a man for the same job, less reproductive rights. We're still physically vulnerable. Like, men don't get raped the way women do. Men don't get shoved onto subway tracks the way a woman does. They don't get assaulted and slapped and hit, that doesn't happen. And that is never going to happen because men and women are not equal, not only in the eyes of society, but physically we're not. These are facts. You can stomp and scream and make a big hullabaloo about it if you want. It doesn't change it. And like I've said before, not understanding what the game is doesn't mean that you win the game. It means that the game crushes you. I'm not about, and when I say game, I don't mean like, oh, we have to play games with the opposite sex. No, I mean like the game of life. There are certain inalienable truths about men and women in our society that we cannot dismantle right this moment. And reaching out to a guy and chasing him isn't how we do it, girls. It's not. We dismantle that patriarchy by stopping and saying, no, I'm worth more than this. You are not going to behave this way. And if you do, you're not going to do it in my life. You can go do it in another girl's life who doesn't understand her value. We're here to understand our value. We are here to create a society and a relationship that is worthy of our standards, right? But you know what? Some of you guys probably like Bumble. I can hear the comments now. Well, fuck you. I met my boyfriend on Bumble. Okay, A, maybe I don't want your boyfriend. B, there's exceptions to every rule. So let's break this down. I actually do know 2 people who got married by meeting people on Bumble, right? Hold on, I have to pause. Like my redneck cup. Yeah, I know 2 girls who met their husbands off Bumble. One of them, one couple, they are just like the cutest, most simpatico, well-matched, even like they are just created by God for each other. And I asked her specifically, I was like, why Bumble? And she's like, well, you know, like I wasn't having much luck on Tinder. I felt like it was just a lot of fuckboys. And then I asked him, I was like, why exactly were you on Bumble? Because here's my theory. And he said, I liked Bumble because I felt like the girls on there were more serious. And here's something interesting, which I had like never considered until I started talking to a lot of guys who are on dating apps, is one thing they run into a lot is girls who are on dating apps only just for attention, but they don't actually ever want to meet up. This like blew my mind because like that's the opposite of what I want to do. And the criticisms I hear from girls is like, they say the same thing. It's like this guy, I'm falling into this like weird digital pen pal thing. Like we've been talking for 6 weeks. I'm like, what? If he's not asking you out like conversation 2, day 2, flush him. He's just looking for an ego boost. So apparently there is that population of people on dating apps, no matter what. If you are one of them, stop it. You are wasting everyone's time. Like, can you just go out and like get a hobby and like get your confidence, your ego boost that way? Do you have to like waste people's time on the internet? Like I'm wasting your time on the internet right now. It's mine. I get to do it. So he's like, the girls I found on Bumble seem to be way more serious about actually getting into a relationship. And I'm like, don't you think it's weird though that like the girls reach out? And he's like, I mean, whatever. I don't care. You know, I think it's fine if they do. It doesn't make me think less of them or whatever. So they're okay. That's an alternate theory, alternate facts. My other friend who got married off Bumble, I think she was like a director casting a role in a play. It's time for a husband, check. She met him and got married within a year. I think that's a little sus. Like that is just so fast. And she's like, well, I'm older, you know, I want to have kids. I'm like, okay, but like, do you want to have kids with someone maybe you're not actually like long-term compatible with? And maybe you don't know that after only dating them for 6 months because we're all still kind of in the honeymoon phase. We're on our best behavior. The wet towels haven't been left on the floor yet. You know what I mean? And she was always just kind of like that girl who was like, I have to do this by 30. I have to do this by 32. You know, she was very like, she was checking boxes. And I think her relationship with this dude is alpha and beta. They don't seem like equals. He seems very like, okay, whatever, yeah. And what have I always said about dudes? Passive reciprocation, right? It's easy to find a guy who's like, sure, I'll respond to your message. Sure, you can come over and hook up with me. Sure, whatever. But they're not actively pursuing you. And then one day he ghosts out and you're like, oh my God, what changed? And the answer is nothing changed. He wasn't pursuing you then. He wasn't pursuing you now. He merely stopped that passive reciprocation. He just locked the door. The door was never opened and he was walking through it to get you. He just unlocked it and let you do all the walking. So that their relationship that I observe is a lot like that. He seems kind of like a beta male who's just like, okay. And you know what? For some people, that works. If you're kind of ticking those boxes where you just want to like you need to get married because your sisters are all married and you need to have a baby because everyone else in your family has a baby, then like that sort of construct is probably fine for you. It is not fine for me. And if you're on my channel and if you're one of my subscribers, I dare say it's not fine for you either. So I guess my point is there's good and bad things to be found on every dating app. Certainly, Tinder is the holy grail of fuckboys. We know this. But I think I like it better because at least there we are sticking to the norms of a guy pursuing a girl. And I know what some of you guys are going to say. Well, we're here to break the norms, and those are so antiquated. Hunters. Men are hunters. Everything about them, their body, why they have narrow hips. You know why men have narrower hips? So they can run farther and faster and chase down that wildebeest. They have bad peripheral vision. Women have excellent peripheral vision because we're typically the prey. We're the vulnerable ones. So we need to see around who's coming for our babies. Men have tunnel vision. They can only see like right in front of them because they're hunters. They like zero in on a target. This is not an accident. Even anatomically, the woman receives. Nature has not made mistakes in this category. And I am so tired of women thinking that equality and freedom means we once again have to take on yet another role from men. We go out and we work, right? We fix things. We cook, we clean, we raise the babies. We're funny, we're outgoing. We save the day. We're heroes, we're firefighters, we're doctors. And now we also get to be the pursuers. I don't know. That doesn't sound fun to me. I like being courted. I think I'm worth it. I want a guy to impress me with like his courtship rituals. And I give things back in return. Love, stability, awesome brownies. See, I love talking about baking. So I don't know. I think you guys know my standpoint on chasing a boy. It just doesn't even work. They don't like it unless they're either a narcissist and a fuckboy and they want this harem of girls coming after them, or they're a beta male who never developed the skills to pursue a girl. Either case, I don't want those people in my life. If you're okay with it, cool, fine. I don't need to like necessarily like hear about it in a comment this long where you call me a bitch and anti-feminist. Okay? If you want to make a valid argument, I'm all ears. So yeah, tread lightly with Bumble. Don't make it your only thing that you do, but I don't know. I don't like the methodology. I don't think it's a good message to send to women that confidence equals chasing. It doesn't. That is more oppression.